Well, it's raining outside. I don't have a lot going on for once in a long time, so I thought I'd take some time and show off some of these ceramic appliances that I've gathered over the last few months. Some of them you'll recognize. Before we get into this, I will not be flushing anything in this video, so don't go disliking it thinking that there's going to be flushes. Just going to go over a few of the ones that I've gotten, and then I'll make separate videos on each and every one of them as time goes on. And yes, for those of you wondering, I did get the service sink. Unfortunately, it was in way worse condition than I thought, but I still took it because it's a service sink. And I think, according to BTR Plumbing, I'm now the second person on YouTube with a collection that actually owns one of these things. Worst of the damage on it is this chunk, and I think that's why it was replaced, actually. Just kind of how it was in the dumpster. My best guess is that there was an accident. Somebody knocked that chunk out and they had to replace it. And then there's a crack. If you guys saw in the other video, there's a little chunk out of it there. And all I did was set it down kind of gently on the grass, and that piece fell off of it. Luckily, that's not going to affect it flushing or anything. But there's the old KFK thing. And it has a date stamp on the back of, I think it was January 24th of 74. So I was kind of surprised. I never knew that they did the KFK USA logo much past the 60s. But it would fit the era of the hospital building, so that this would have been an original fixture. Anyways, I'll make a separate video on that some other day. These two toilets you might recognize. These are the two 2003 Vorton's Vienna toilets. They're complete junk. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them yet. And I didn't think that they were junk at first, but the only reason I say that is because, let's see, which one is it? I think it's this one. Yep. Literally all that happened was it tipped over on the soft ground, and it knocked a chunk out of the lid and chunk out of the tank. So I think these things are a lot more cheaply made than I thought. This is one of my favorite ones here. It's kind of unique in a way. According to AFT Plumbing, the bowl is a 1987 Murray Savoy, and it's under the bowl. It's stamped 87, and it looks almost identical to the one that he has. But the really weird thing about it is that on it is a 1987 UR tank. And the house that this was pulled from, the lady had it replaced because it was leaking around the tank to bowl gasket. She just wanted the whole toilet replaced, I guess. But yeah, 87 UR tank, 87 Murray bowl. And so as far as I can tell, back in 87, these were installed together incorrectly in a sense. I mean, I guess it works, but you can even see how they're a slightly different color from each other. But that means that since 87, these have been mismatched and operating exactly like this. And who knows, maybe in a different house in town there's a UR bowl with a Murray tank on it. So up next is my 1980 Norris toilet. I found this sitting in a giant junk pile next to an apartment building that's getting partially renovated, so snatched that. The tank and bowl were separated, and this thing was pretty gross. It still is, honestly. I'll need to do a serious deep clean on it. But they, just based on the pile outside, I could tell they completely gutted that whole room. It looked like it might have been pretty gross inside and probably needed it. Freaking cats. My neighbor's cat likes to go under my little building here. But anyways, this yeah, you can see it's still a little gross. But this is very similar to the 78 Norris toilet that my cousins have in their house. I've always thought that these were kind of weird just because the trap opening goes so deep, like it's almost completely on the ground. It's a really deep, bold toilet. Yeah, this tank is date stamped something 1980. Next we have possibly my favorite one. This is my 1955 Standard Cadet. This was a free find on Marketplace. I talked to the husband. I guess he didn't really want their old bathroom renovated, but the wife wanted it for some reason. And yeah, there's the old Standard logo there. I've already messed around with this and gotten it to flush 20 golf balls before. I love the trap design on these. And I'm pretty sure that's an original flush handle too, which is super cool. Pretty nice slow close seat on it, obviously not original. And cool thing with this toilet is that I got 2 matching sinks with it. These, it's going to be upside down, but these had the old American Standard and American Standard Radiator Company logo on them. And these things are cast iron with a porcelain glaze, so they're basically indestructible as far as sinks go. Obviously newer faucets on them. The cool thing was with both the sinks I also got the chrome trim that would have gone around them. And then the guy also had up for grabs the old bathtub from that renovation, but the bathtub was cast iron and weighed like 300 pounds, and there was no way in hell I was fitting that in my car. So, had to pass on the bathtub, unfortunately. Would have loved to have it. And then right next to that, the 1988 gray American Standard sink, which I'll probably install that in my bathroom someday. And then you've all seen this 1955 or 6 Halsey Taylor drinking fountain. I got the 55 or 6 Haas faucet in it. You'll all recognize this too. This is my 1953 Crane Oxford. And I made an attempt at repairing the tank actually. This whole chunk had broken off of it. So I glued that back on and sprayed the entire inside of the tank with Flex Seal just as a little experiment. And I'll do a separate video on that someday, and we'll see how well it works and how well it holds up. This is something really cool that I found. White House bowl cleaner. I haven't been able to find this anywhere online. For stains, odors, and incrustations in toilet bowls. 1 pint. And look, there's still a little bit of it in there. Would have had a screw top, but somebody shoved a cork in there. I have no idea how old this is, because like I said, I can't find any information on this company. You can pause and read on that if you want. My best guess is that would be from the 50s. But I'm only guessing on that. Then here we have a mid probably to late 90s Mansfield Alto, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And when we still lived in our old house across the street, that house had 2 of these. I wish I could have filmed them. And when the water is at the line in the bowl, it forms kind of a triangular shape. No tank lid on this, unfortunately. But this thing might be kind of junky. I tried flushing just 2 golf balls down it. They both got stuck. I can't get them out. They're stuck somewhere in the trap. So that sucks. And then finally, I got these as a matching set. These are... One of these is, I think, an 89 or a 90, and then the other is a 90 or 91, I think. They're in this really interesting, like, grayish blue color. The interesting thing is, they're both Briggs. Not sure how well that's going to come up. Yeah, I can't even really see the logo there. No, maybe you can barely see it. Well, this one's got that older style Briggs logo, and then this one has the kind of slanted Briggs logo. Both have the same flush handles. It's hard to figure out which tank went to which toilet because they both fit, but they are ever so slightly different. The tank lids are ever so slightly different as well. But these both came out of the same house. And I'm not sure what model they are either. Both got original seats on them, which is nice. These old Bemis seats. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is my brain screwing with me, but I feel like the trapways are slightly different on these. Maybe not. I can't quite tell. But yeah, anyways, that's the whole collection as of now. I've got a lot of catching up to do on some of these videos. And then if any of you remember, I had that old RV toilet that's just sitting out back. I don't care about that. And then my Kohler Dexter, which is a complete lost cause at this point. I'm not even going to show that. It's all kinds of broken now. And it might just end up in the landfill at some point if I don't plant flowers in it or something. So far, I haven't had a lot of luck with Kohler fixtures. That one's all busted up. The Dexter was all busted up. My goal someday, though, is to have a flushometer set up, and I want to collect old commercial flushometer toilets. I'll admit I've always been a little bit more into those than I am to tank toilets, but these are all still really cool. And I'll be slowly going through and filming each one of them as I feel like it. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, and I think the first video is going to be on that one. I don't know when I'm going to do that, though.